What's on, you massive legends? Welcome back to Watch the Ads, or welcome to Watch the Ads, whichever one it is. I'm Ads. You've joined me today on a bit of a road trip. I don't know if I mentioned that the back doors on the van are less than desirable. I'll show you some video of that in a bit, but just sort of catching you up with where we are. I managed to find a couple of doors, but not in a pair. I'm going from one side of the M25 to pick up one door, to the other side of the M25 to pick up the other door. Both doors are going to need some attention, a little bit of panel beating. I've never done anything like that, but the price of these doors was way more within my budget. Doors are expensive, man. So this is a 2014, it's a Mark 8, so if I had a Mark 6, the doors would be £100 each. So we're doing it on a budget. I've managed to find a couple of them. The two combined is still less than the price of one. I managed to find two of them for, I think it's a combined cost of about 115 quid. But that's if I can fix them. That's if I can, but it's worth a try. I'm going to be putting windows in these doors. I wasn't gonna, but the first door had a window in it. It's from a minibus, and this is the same chassis as a minibus. So I'm going to be putting windows into these doors. Whether or not I block them off on the inside is I'm still thinking about that. I like the idea of having windows in the back. I'm just thinking about insulation, you know, just thinking about all of the bits that would have to go with it. Personally, I'm not against it. The holes are already cut, so I haven't got to worry about that. It's just a case of getting the glass and sticking it on, but it's definitely something to consider. Well, they got to have glass on anyway, because they both got bloody great holes cut in them. So I'll be putting the glass on and figuring out whether or not I'm gonna seal them up and blank them off. But anyway, that was just to catch you up with what I was doing. We just stopped off for a minute. Jet's had to dash out. She's looking for coffees and things like that. I just it's currently 20 to 8 in the evening. Luckily my mum and pops live up sort of Guildford area, so we're going to go up to there and stay there the night. Then we can get a jump on it in the morning, go and pick these doors. We got to go from one side of the M25 all the way around to the other, like I said, and then yeah. So yeah, I'll stop banging on for a minute, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers. Right, so it's the next day, again wearing the same clothes, but at least it's a different hoodie to the ones before. Just picked up the first door. I couldn't vlog it because we were struggling. There it is. Huh? I couldn't video any of it because we were struggling to find where we were. So now it's time to hunt down door number 2, which is on the other side of the M25. Okay, that's the second part of the mission complete. We've got the second door. The dent on the top of the door, I thought I'd be able to bang out, but it's double skinned, so you can't bang it from the other side. But whatever I do to it, the door cost me a third of what any other door would have cost me. So all the doors that I've been looking at with dents, second hand, by no means in good condition. You're looking at about 250 to 300 quid. To find one in really good condition, 400 quid ish plus. I saw one for 600, but it was practically brand new, but that's not the point. These two combined with fuel have still cost me less than £200. You could look at it, I've saved 300 quid, or I could cock these doors right up and I've wasted a couple hundred quid. We'll see what happens, won't we? Time will tell. Okay, so here's the situation. The doors on the van, I've probably moaned about them quite a bit, but as you can see, cracked, damaged. They're cracked all the way down, even here, all the way through to the front. Grip fill to hold everything in. Same with the other one. The other one's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad. So after much deliberation, picked up 2 second-hand doors off a minibus. The issue that I've got is because they're from a minibus, one of them's got a pane of glass in and the other one hasn't. I'm either going to have to replace the other one for the same, so I'm going to have to locate a left-hand piece of glass, which will probably be astronomical, or take that one out and replace both of them. Let's get them out and have a look. I noticed in a lot of my last videos that there was an inexplicable and inexcusable amount of gratuitous ass crack. So I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum, folks. I realise that it's quite harrowing and I didn't put any sort of disclaimer. If there is a slippage of the ass crack, I can only apologise in advance. I will do my very best to keep the ass crack within, without, withheld. With that said, doors. Right, so I've got this dent here. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to get the heat gun out. We'll take all of this off. I won't be doing that right this second, but yeah. And on this door, we've got a bloody great dent, as you can see, but it's double skinned. So I can't get at it from this side unless I cut a hole. So I'm going to try to avoid doing, but it can be done. I'm going to heat this panel up. I've got the curve there, so I'm going to heat this panel up. I've got some kit coming tomorrow. It's called a PDR, it's called a paintless dent removal tool. And basically you stick stuff to it and try and pop it out. It was 40 quid on Amazon, and I got to be honest, if it works, it's going to be great because there's a lot of dings on this van. It takes out little dings, takes out bigger dings. So I'm hoping it will take out this ding. I think that if I can smoothen that out to take the, I think that what you got to do is you've got to try and take the pressure out of the creases. So if there's a lot of pressure in this crease here to pop this line here back in. So I'm going to try and smooth that down and pull this out. Yeah, that's the plan. Don't know what to tell you. GoPro's let me down again. I've just come to edit all of this actually, and luckily I was at Jet's little streaming setup. I say little streaming setup, she's pretty much got just about everything you need. But yeah, I have lost pretty much the most important videos of the whole thing, but I'm going to drag this video over the finish line purely because the doors were incredibly important to me. When I got to Bolton to look at the van, I was so disappointed because they told me, you know, they're not going to take crap pictures, obviously, but they didn't tell me how bad the doors were. So one way or another, I'm going to drag this video over the line. I tried the dent puller the next day. I've got a little bit of that here. I'll put it here. That was absolute crap. I don't recommend one of those at all. If I'm using it wrong, it was from Amazon. It's about 40 quid. It's basically a glue gun and some plastic feet, but it was rubbish. But anyway, so I've got a little bit of that. This is basically just me pulling more of the feet off. This was a couple of days this went on. I tried different ways of letting the glue set and things like that. It was crap. Absolutely rubbish. So what I opted to do in the end was drill some holes in the back of the door and try and poke it out as best as I could. I managed to get a fair chunk of the dent out, but then I just ground it all out and I filled it. The only real way that I can show any of that now is through the medium of TikTok. Because I actually did a TikTok of it which saved to my phone, so I'll put that up here as well. Up here. I'll put that up here. Just so that you can see just the extent of how much I ground out and everything. But once I put it onto the door, once I fitted the door and I ground it all out and I put more filler in it again, to be honest, it actually looked a bit better. I could probably still do some work on it and make it look even better than that, but so yeah, I got that one done anyway. That was fitted and fine. When the glass arrived from Van Pimps, which is absolutely stunning by the way, I'm not in any way in any sort of affiliation with them at all because, you know, I've only got like a handful of subscribers, so it's not like anybody's forcing me to say it, but their glass is lovely. I've dealt with a few bits of glass in my life, not just auto glass, all sorts of glass, but the Van Pimp stuff is really cracking. The Van Pimp stuff is cracking. It's not cracking, that's the main thing, it's good stuff. So that arrived and it was time to fit the doors. And so I took the van back up the yard. The only bits that I've actually saved are the very end and the time lapse that I did with the half decent GoPro. I've got a half decent one. I've got a decent one that I keep for doing nice things with, and then I've got the other one for messing about with. So I put this one on time lapse, and this one did absolutely fine. So as you can see, I'm stripping out the I stripped out all the mechanism from the old door, and I put that into the new door. It's a bit tricky fitting a door on your own. You probably have a mate with you just to hold it to get the hinges back into place, which it worked out all right in the end. I managed to get the door back on. It's not as tricky as you think with the mechanisms. I thought it was going to be really complicated. It's just a case of working methodically with it. Most of it is done with cables like you'd get on your bike, just like brake cables, similar sort of thing to brake cables. So that came apart quite easily. Getting it back together again was a bit more tricky because I had to run a rope down through the door to pull the cable back out through the hole in the top. But once that was all done, it was plain sailing. To get the old glass, the original factory glass, that stuff is put on. I don't know what it's put on with, but it was hard. I actually missed out recording on the part where I actually used a reciprocating saw to cut down the side of the window, which was probably a stupid idea, but one way or another that glass was coming out. If it was going to smash, it was going to smash. It wasn't really an issue. Incidentally, it didn't, and I've still got it for sale if anybody does need a heated driver's side rear window for a minibus. So what I did then was I heated around the bottom, and I heated, as you could see, I put a load of things in just to apply pressure to make it ping out. So I just went around with the heat gun and got it red hot, and as I went round, it just slowly eased itself out. And then I tidied it all up as best as I could, alcohol rubs and all sorts of bits just to clean the two patches up. And then it was just a standard window fitting. I went on with the primer, and then weirdly, luckily it's on time lapse and you can't see how actually stupid I looked. I shook it to see how much was left, and literally it was like I just flicked it down the back of the van. But it does show you very quickly, very briefly. I don't know if you can see it in this, how very briefly it does show you, but T-cut takes that clean straight out. So if you do have a problem with dribbling any of that stuff down the side of your van, T-cut, can't recommend that highly enough. So that glass went in absolutely fine, and yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut back to that original video, because the one video that is left is the very end, because I did that on this camera again. But yeah, thanks for your patience. I do appreciate it. I'm not really sure why it's happening, but I am going to be upgrading my camera at some point, because it's not very good vlogging with a GoPro. They're good for some things. I use it for spearfishing. It's never let me down, but for some reason it's just been letting me down all the time lately, and I can't be arsed. So yeah, didn't expect this to happen today, but here we go. Like I said, I had to drag it over the line. I had to get the door video out. I know it was probably a little bit waffling on and a bit boring for some people, but it meant a hell of a lot to me getting these doors done. It was a big hurdle, and it also means that I can start concentrating on the stuff inside the van as well. But yeah, thanks for your patience, and I'll move back to an actual video now instead of me sat here freshly showered in a nice pink chair. Peace! Not even sure if I pressed record on that bit, but I managed to get the glass to sit a little bit more flush than the door did. So yeah, it's going to give it a little clean up, let it wait for a minute, and take that tape off, stand back and admire my handiwork. Okay, so don't know what else to say really. They're on, and I got to be honest, I'm over the moon with it. I don't think I could have done any better than that, I'll be completely honest. None of this is supposed to really be just to show you how to do it, because there's so many much better videos than mine that can show you exactly how to do it. But hopefully my videos will just show you that you can do it, because if I can, come on. So I found one door for 50 quid with no glass and no mechanical bits, and one door for 75 quid with a piece of glass and some of the mechanical bits in it. The cost of the two doors was 115 quid, 125 quid, and the cost of the glass was 130 quid. So for the same price as buying one door, I got two doors and some Van Pimp's privacy glass. So for me, that was a bargain. So last 2 doors didn't even close properly. I'm pretty sure this is all filler. Yep, this is all filler at the top here. All cracked, nasty. I mean, they'd had it, to be honest. They didn't close properly, like I said. You had to wiggle one of them like crazy to get it to open. They both open perfectly fine now. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what else to say really. Yeah, don't look for information or direction from any of my videos. Hopefully you could just take them as a bit of I don't want to say inspiration, that's a bit strong, but when I say I've got no experience, I genuinely mean that. I've got no idea really. So I've never done anything like this before, so if I can do it, honestly, grab some tools and get it on with it, because you can, definitely. But yeah, but thanks for watching this video. There's going to be another one uploaded soon, because I've got, now that all of that's done, I'm in a better position to be able to start actually working on the inside of the van, which has been a pain in the ass at the moment, because I've had to keep taking things in and out, because, you know, I've got nowhere to keep everything at the minute. So yeah, so hopefully I can start cracking on with some insulation and some battling and some other bits and pieces inside the van now. So happy days with that. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.